Woo! Halloween's right around the corner, and I am in my spooky spirits. I have made my way back home to Virginia, where the trees are orange, like Halloween. Purple is a color of fall, here, I think at least. That's a reference to a movie called Scooby-Doo, the live-action version, but he never actually says it. It's the black guy with our dead Arnuki beast.
Purple is a fall color. It's the middle of May.
Anyways, today we're talking not about Halloween, not about horror, not about trick-or-treating, but about being scared, and specifically, McCamey Manor. Have you ever heard of it? Because if you have, then you've been around on the internet for a while. It's a pretty popular thing. There's multiple movies, documentaries about it, and a shit ton of YouTube videos. And now there's another one. Do you guys like that I can stand up and walk close now? Is that weird? Is that kind of strange? This guy named Russ McCamey is a problematic individual.
According to court documents, Russ McCamey was arrested at his home in Summertown on Friday after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. Since Friday, more charges have been filed.
And there's been a lot of stuff that's happened lately that I'm gonna be covering in today's video. If you're not interested in this, then skip it, okay? This guy, Russ, has a haunted house that is like no other. And we will make that very clear in today's video, especially if you are unaware of McCamey Manor.
You're scared, Sarah.
This is gonna be quite a trip because it is so different from every other haunted house that, for one, I've ever been into. And also, it's just because it's like not legal as well. It's really different because it's like illegal.
Concern over McCamey Manor has made its way all the way to the top law enforcement officials in Lawrence County. District Attorney Brent Cooper has looked in to see if the extreme haunt has crossed the line into criminal.
So there's a huge difference between this one and all the other ones, in that this one is like... It's run by a criminal madman. All right? McCamey Manor is so scary that people have ended up in the hospital. They have contracted PTSD, as if it's some kind of contagion or bacterial infection. I'm not sure if you can contract it. They've left the manor with bruises, cuts, and allegations.
And I'll tell you this, and I'm okay with this. We've had 3 people die at McCamey Manor, and that's the way it happened.
So that's a bit of a taste of McCamey Manor. What kind of individual actually set something up like this? What's the backstory of an individual who would do such an insane thing? The creator of this sick gag is a man named Russ McCamey. He is obsessed with the genre of horror, you could say, I think.
Hey everybody, it's Russ coming at you right here from McCamey Manor.
He came up with this genius idea back in 2001 after ending his service with the Navy, which he was with for 22 years. That is a decorated... What is it called? A career? I don't fucking know. What is it called? Your service record. I don't know. Is he an ensign? He's a weirdo. I know that much is for sure, but just because you're in the Navy doesn't mean you're in the weirdo. It doesn't mean you're in the weirdo. As if it's a military... Sorry, I have to read from my phone. It's a lot of information to remember. This guy was so weird while even in the Navy, he would create horror experiences for his port mates on ships. So he's like kind of a freak motherfucker, even way back in the Dizzy. After Russ's service, he realized that there weren't that many horror experiences in the real world outside of the military that could induce the level of fear that he was familiar with, that he wanted to deliver. No one could get people as scared as he wanted them to be. It was all just booze and various jump scares. There was no psychological fear like you witness an actor in a movie going through when they're filming while acting for a movie. He was upset that that wasn't a real thing that people would go. That's because when you do go through that, it's like very traumatizing and not good, and people aren't meant to be that scared. And it isn't fun, it's just like scary, you know?
It's a survival horror boot camp experience where you actually live your own horror movie.
So with the lack of the existence of such an experience for the average person, this man, Russ, decided to create that shit in his backyard. Normal people probably wouldn't want to experience this thing that Russ wanted to create, but there are quite a few people out there who are not normal, who want to experience things that bring them great horror and discomfort.
What are you thinking about?
Nothing.
Tell me your
There's
thoughts.
nothing in my head right now.
Yes, there is. Tell me your thoughts. Are you glad you came?
No.
I mean, there's people who skydive for fun. There's people who jump out of perfectly good airplanes. There's people who, I don't know, jack off while themselves. What the f? There's a lot of weirdos out there. Now, Russ describes this experience that he had in mind not as a haunted house, but as a horror survival boot camp experience, almost like a hook for a video game, a 4-player co-op horror survival video game that might be releasing a demo at some point in November 2024, maybe, potentially, I'm not sure.
McCamey Manor is actually a survival horror boot camp experience.
To get into McCamey Manor, you have to sign up online, fill out a bunch of forms, and apparently there is a 24,000 person wait list, which is heavily contested, not detested, heavily contested by people who have signed up and immediately gotten in. There's a couple YouTubers who have done exposés on McCamey Manor and like, it's the marketing, oh my God, it's such a crazy short or long wait list, you'll never get in, and then they get in the same day. There's a guy who did that. I don't know, dude. I don't have any access to the internet or computers or anything. I just have some shit that I wrote down, all right? And some other stuff, and that's all I've got. And I'm feeling good about it. You have to be 18 to 20 years old to participate in the McCamey Manor experience as it stands now. If you're over 21, you can sign up for the Descent Tour, which I assume means you can sign up to get the shit beat out of you and shit wiped on you. A truly authentic horror experience. Or as I like to call it, am I right, fellow? Cut that out. This experience started originally in Russ's backyard in San Diego, but as the experience gained more and more renown for being traumatizing and a real horror experience, also it gained a lot of infamy from articles and headlines like these and claims like this. People really started to spread the word about this thing, and it was a reputation that this manor began to build online.
Screams in the night, coupled with revving chainsaws and what looks like an abduction. Neighbors in one mid-state town say they've had to deal with all of it in just the past month, and the DA in charge says everything is perfectly legal.
I guess because of all this press, he decided to expand a bit his empire of scares. Ooh! That's like Frankenstein from Van Helsing. I do that all the time. I scream with vibrato. You should try it at home right now. Eventually in 2017, McCamey Manor relocated to Tennessee, and there is another branch that is open in Alabama, one of the greatest states in the Union. Just kidding, it sucks. It smells weird.
Oh my God! Davis is gonna run it all the way back! Auburn's gonna win the football game!
So let's say you get in on the wait list. How much does this experience cost? How much of a sadist do you have to be? Masochist, that's the one who hurts themselves. How much of a masochist do you have to be to want to pay for an experience like this? Luckily, you don't have to. Thank God. You just have to buy him dog food. You have to buy food for his dogs, which is kind of interesting. He's like that guy from Game of Thrones, Ramsay Bolton. He's like Ramsay Bolton.
He's your brother.
I prefer being an only child.
My hounds. I will release my hounds on you, red-headed woman. So yeah, he accepts you on the wait list, you bring him some dog food, and you get to waltz up and have the worst experience of your life. That sounds like a lot of fun if you ask me. But wait, there's more! There's also a $20,000 prize that I refuse to believe exists because no one has ever seen it or won it. And it's like they're very specific with who they choose as well. They choose people that they can easily take advantage of who are super. We'll get into that, all right? They're not choosing Navy SEALs to stick this shit out, all right?
I'll start you off with 20 grand. Then every time you fail, you'll lose a card and you'll lose $500, etc. But trust me, you are not going to last 10 hours once the clock starts.
So what exactly does the manor consist of? How are they actually scaring people? Well, first, once you make your way through the waiting list, you have to sign a 40-page waiver, which I'm almost 100% positive would not hold up in the court of law, but also might, because people are voluntarily doing this. But also, it's like torture. I don't know if you can't sign a contract and just shoot somebody in the head, and they're like, yes, shoot me in the head, it's legal, signed me. Oh God, that doesn't really work like that. There's still laws, and contracts don't just bend them.
There's no such thing as a liability waiver that is actually going to protect you against any and all claims.
And I understand there's a lot of instances in which they do. Saul Goodman, okay? Lay off my hairy ball sack, son of a bitch. By the way, it's very cold right now. It's windy. It's breezy up here on this hilltop. One interesting thing is that if you are 18 to 20 years old, you have to have parental permission, which is weird because, like, you're an adult when you're 18, but if you're 21 and up, you can just jump right in. So it's a kind of rental car situation in which there's an imaginary line drawn in the sand, and Russ drew this one. Makes sense. I wonder if he's ever been sued.
Back in 2019, more than 16,000 people signed a petition to have it shut down. Many of those who signed it saying it's a torture chamber in disguise. Now, Scarmetti's letter draws out concerns about the manor and its practices, specifically allegations that the manor does not offer or honor, quote, a means for a participant to stop the tour.
Seems like maybe he's learned his lesson a few times, and that's why he keeps moving the imaginary line in the sand a lot. This next part is actually kind of cool, if true, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was just marketing propaganda nonsense. McCamey Manor prop. Once you get through the wait list, they run background checks, check everything. They essentially private investigate your life to see what your actual fears are. They'll call your family, they'll call your friends, they'll call your mommy. They'll call your mommy and they'll ask her, what's his fears? What's her fears? And she'll say, I'm not sure, I haven't spoken to him in 6 years, because their child is a masochist freak weirdo who wants to go to McCamey Manor. Oh God, no, Russ McCamey, Russ, no, I'm so afraid of free money everywhere. My biggest fear, you can ask my mom and my dad and my grandmother and my friends. My biggest fear is just free money that I can take, and lots of it. Enough of it to where I never have to worry about the material holds on my life or the lives of those around me who I love. I would love to elevate myself out of the conscription of the consumerist mind. I'm not that big into postmodernism or commentary on any postmodernism, to be honest, kind of lame. But at the same time, I don't like worrying about money that much, and I think there's more to life. According to them, they tailor the experience to your own individual fears, which makes it as sick and twisted of an experience as you can possibly imagine having, all right? So after that, from what I can gather, they beat you up a little bit. They whip your ass a little bit, slap you around, chuck you in the mud, yell at you right in your head. They go, "Arr!" in your head and stuff. It's bad. Some people really don't like it. It's worse than what I said. I feel like I'm not doing a very good job of stating how bad it actually is. From one person's experience, a person we will be referring to as Christina B.
And looky here, we got Christina.
I don't even have I came directly from the airport.
You're all right.
Directly from here to come here.
Where's your outfit at?
In there.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
So as soon as everything starts, you gotta sign that 40-page paper, which I assume is kind of hard to sign because you're getting your ass whooped. But after that point, they get the green light and you get kidnapped into their van. Once in the back of the van, after simulating kidnapping, they whoop your ass even more. And then they ask you once again if you are sure you would like to continue.
Yes, sir. Do you want to continue on?
Yes, sir.
Consent is very important at McCamey Manor, guys. Remember that. Very, very important. Once you agree, again, after signing a document, they beat on you. They piss on you. They just try it, all right? They just try it. And yeah, that's kind of when it really begins. I'm not sure exactly what I'm allowed to show, but they got fake blood. They got some goop. They got bodily fluids. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I don't know if Russ made this himself and he's making these bodily fluid tinctures or where he's getting them, but it looks disgusting and weird, and I'm not sure how much of it I can show to you. I'm gonna be real with you, all right? You get your ass whooped. That's all you need to know, really. That's the best part, to be honest with you. There's lots of appliances filled with goop and shit from Spirit Halloween. It looks weird. It's like they physically abuse you, but it's in like a cartoon Spirit Halloween world, which isn't that scary. I actually went to a haunted house with a big fat guy once, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I was having a great time. I was like, oh, this shit's so haunted. And then I opened the closet, and then there was a bunch of Spirit Halloween stuff, and I was like, this is lame. You mean it's not real and it's just they're making money off it? You mean they're just making money off it and everything is fake? Is that what you mean? Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm a little upset about it. I don't care. You know, if I believed it, it'd make me more money. And then more money, and everybody, but I would also have to sleep at night, and I have trouble doing that. So go to sour.gg and buy some candy. We've got some Halloween-related candies going up on the store pretty soon. Go to sour.gg, use code bodily fluid, all right, for 20% off your order. 200 only available. Go to sour.gg. We got a brand new flavor called Rainbow Sherbet today. Rainbow Sherbet, not sorbet, but sherbet. My grandfather used to say sherbet. He was wrong. It's sherbet. Rainbow Sherbet. Go buy the candy today. It's delicious. It's real candy. It's like made with natural dyes, natural flavors. You guys know the rigmarole. It's delicious. We make it ourselves. It's an actual YouTuber product that's made by only YouTubers. We don't hire anyone with technical ability, just YouTubers. That's also not true. I hired professionals, but we do it in our facility. I can go shit in the candy if I want, all right? Bodily fluids. Oh, bodily fluids for 20% off. And also, if I had a middleman, they probably wouldn't let me do stupid shit like what I'm doing right now, potentially tarnishing my brand forever. So go to sour.gg. We release a new flavor every single week. Use code bodily fluids for 20% off. 200 uses. Thank you so much. I need it. I need you guys to buy some candy. Yeah, I need you guys to buy some candy. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. So they got appliances full of fake heads and shitty fake blood. Then the employees of McCamey Manor come out and harass you, belittle you, make you feel like shit. I'm gonna rotate. I don't know why it's on YouTube. It feels like it's from the dark web. It feels like it's one of those red rooms. You know, one of those rooms that's illegal, where illegal shit happens. I don't know, dude. I just don't like it. I don't like hurting people. I get to some people like it, man, but I just feel bad, man. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying? There is not a cloud in the sky today. What is going on right now? It's so quiet, cold. I feel very uncomfortable right now, just up on this hill, just screaming into a camera with nobody around. Is this illegal? I feel like I'm breaking the law right now. And then Spencer, he's not looking too good. His face is in a puddle, and they're seemingly making him give up, and he's gonna give up. He gives up. He gives up. He doesn't want to be there anymore. He quits. It also seems like Christina wants to quit as well, but they don't let her quit, and then they shove her into an ice cream machine and turn her into soft serve. Guess that's why all them ice cream machines out there at McDonald's don't work. Am I right, fellow gangsters? Fellow gangsters watching, original gangsters watching my YouTube channel, oompaville.com? Press the like button and hit the subscribe circle. I just feel bad for her. I really don't know how much of this we can show, but they keep messing with her. They shove some mystery meat in her mouth, give her a century egg, which makes me want to vomit. I don't like that very much. Not very cool, not very cash money. I'm just a regular white guy, so I'm not into that kind of stuff. Pretty normal. She starts begging them again, says that she wants to quit, and then it hard cuts to her drowning in a toilet.
You haven't done anything yet.
I'm done.
What?
I'm done.
Are you quitting, Army?
Yes,
Put it right down there first. Get it right down.
I'm quitting. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's not cool. That's just like, yeah, I guess it's just not for us normal people, right? Fellow normals? Yeah. Weird. She pretty much very clearly says she wants to go home and that she's giving up.
No place like home, and I want to go home.
Let's literally abuse people. Literally. Let's just abuse people and kill them. Let's just almost kill them. Imagine somebody has a heart attack. Oh, wait.
We've had 3 people die at McCamey Manor, and, you know, that's the way it happened.
It's up, and for a lot of people, it's probably very triggering. Not me. I don't really care all that much. It's weird to watch. I just don't, it doesn't really do a lot for me. Kind of makes me uncomfortable, and like I don't really like watching it. But after the events go down, they interview the subject. Raven back there in the woods. You bud, I'm recording, dude. All right, shut the up, Mother Nature. You bet. So they ask her how it was, and she's like, she doesn't like it.
Is it something that when you're old and gray like me, you're gonna look back on and think, man, that McCamey Manor, that is one crazy haunted house. And there's nothing like it out there in the world, and I did it 3 times, because by then it'll be three times.
She says she would never want her daughter to do this, even though her daughter loves haunted houses.
Is she a fan of this stuff?
She's I just got her into boo haunts, so it's like I have to do gradual sticks with her. But if you got a hold of her, you'd love her hair, Rush. You would love her hair. The guys would love her hair.
How old is she?
She's 19.
She's gotta wait a couple years then, right? You got a couple years to convince her.
And that herself, Christina B, would not, in fact, be a scare actor to her own daughter, which Russ suggested.
I don't think so. I don't think I could do that to my daughter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, right?
Yes.
Then it gets to this really strange part where it seems like she's got a gun to her head, or she's really tiptoeing around, where she dispels all the hate. She's talking to the haters. Russ is awesome. He'd never do anything. He'd never do anything bad to any. Russ would never do anything. He's a great guy. He's got a really good head on his shoulders, and he wants the best for all people of all shapes, sizes, colors, genders, etc. And he's very. This is good, and this is good. I mean, it's good that this is allowed on YouTube, by the way, and that. You know, people can't even discuss politics or their religions or their personal views on things or comedy. They can't do those things, but they can upload this. I'm really glad that they can upload this. I'm really grateful that they can upload literal murder smut, horror smut to YouTube, and this is allowed, but everything else is not. I'm just jealous. She didn't say that last part. That was just me.
All I can say to the haters is I have physically viewed Russ's house. I have been to the manor. And what you perceive Russ to be is nothing that he is. Doing these verbal threats against him, his family, it's not right. It's, to me, harassment, and you don't have the right to threaten anybody's life because you don't agree with what they're doing. If you don't like it, then don't go. This haunt is not for everybody.
But yeah, in spite of the strange vibes of that last part of the interview, she's right. If you don't like it, you don't have to go. It's voluntary. It's totally true. It's, you know, it's a free country, I guess. The whole defending Russ is a weird thing. Russ is not what they're saying he is, etc., etc. It seems like he's a weird cult leader who's legally getting away with the members of the cult, though. That's what it kind of seems like, and all it would take is one little step too far. You know, drinking Kool-Aid's less crazy than what they're doing out there at McKamey Manor. Just saying, all right? Just saying. Then they ask her, what's the scariest haunted house? And guess what she says, guys? Ah, McKamey Manor! Yay! It worked. The greatest, scariest haunted house of all time. McKamey Manor.
What's the scariest of those three?
I would say McKamey Manor.
What's the most aggressive?
McKamey Manor.
What's the most brutal?
McKamey Manor.
What's the best one?
What's the best one?
McKamey Manor.
All right!
Yay! 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 Good job, Russ. That's really cool stuff. So yeah, there you have it. That's kind of a taste as to how wild McKamey Manor actually gets and has gotten recently. 10 years ago, it wasn't nearly the level that it is now. There were normal jump scares, a little bit of water splash and people coming out, chainsaw with no blade on it, until there wasn't. Until they decided to continue to push the boundaries, and I assume there's some level of money to be made or something. There's always money involved in shit. You ever notice that? How much money sucks? Balls and dick. It's wild how much money sucks balls and dick, dude. So it was normal, and now it's just not normal, and it evolved into this weird thing where you can get touched a lot, and I feel like it just shouldn't. I mean, it's just not safe, and eventually something terrible is going to happen for sure. It is going to go bad at some point. Somebody's going to get murdered. There's going to be some kind of charge. Something bad is going to happen. Oh, wait. I think it's the third time I've done that now. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Are you saying that that's already happened? Are you saying that that's already happened, you Pavel? Are you alluding to that heavily? Yeah, I am alluding to that heavily because it's why I'm making this video, is because I've known about this shit for a really long time, but more and more epic additions to the saga are added every quarter, it seems like. Now, if you haven't gathered up until this point, there's a lot of controversy that surrounds McKamey Manor, and you probably have gathered that up until this point. After seeing what exactly goes on there, it probably makes sense to the average viewer now why they give you the mental health check, the physical, they investigate you fully to make sure that you're not going to die. The reason for all that shit is because they want to do what they did to Christina B with no remorse and no potential legal consequences. Once again, no expert, but this 40-page waiver doesn't seem like it's that legally binding. I don't know a lot about legal waivers or, you know, lawyers or laws or really anything that doesn't involve being upset over menial things. But I don't think that thing will hold up in court, and all it's gonna take is one real rich guy with a good lawyer to go in there and get his ass whooped, and then all of it'll come crumbling down. We're lucky enough to have some feller leak the entire waiver, and I feel like a lot of this shit's just fully illegal. Even though it's written on paper, you can't just write something, I can kill you, and then you sign it and be like, that's not how it works, dude. At least I don't think. Let me look it up. Let's look at Quora, the ultimate source for information. Seems like no matter what you're committing a crime, it's just the defense of that crime. Homicide. Judge, he signed a waiver. Okay, I see it. I get it now. That makes sense. The 40-page waiver seems like it's nonsensical because all this shit's illegal. You can't just do this to someone. So as for the McKamey Manor waiver, I don't know a lot once again, but it seems like there's a lot of area of gray because the enticement to get someone to be able to allow you to commit a crime on them, it's very difficult to prove anything at all. And it's best that you just don't do stuff like this, it seems like, in a civilized world. Seems like, unless you want to be a part of a weird cult. So you can listen to my opinion, or you can listen to Legal Eagle, who is a lawyer. He looks cool. He looks like a pretty cool guy. I think he actually used some of my footage once in a video, so pretty chill with that. I'm gonna use some of his footage now in this video. So he says technically it's true.
So what's my verdict? Well, arguably the waiver is legal, at least for a lot of the things that it's trying to disclaim, and probably so is the attraction, unless there's a lot of unknown information that we don't have.
He can get away with it, but like, once again, I want to see some big gun lawyers go in there. Corruption, legal system, Supreme Court. You know, I want to see some of that shit happen in McKamey Manor. Is you just film it all, right? You just film all of it, and that's what you're defense is, it's confusing to me. Let's talk about the abuse, all right? He admitted to that. They do abuse people, and they have abused people so much so that this lady, Sarah, looks like she's in shock of some kind, which is not good for the human body, brain, psyche, or anything at all. This is not a very fun rehab. She don't look too good. Her eyes are dilated. Her pupils are not contracting when shined with light. I don't know what that means. Not a doctor, nor am I a lawyer. I'm just a YouTuber, but it doesn't look good. She had to sit there for about 15 minutes until she was able to snap out of her stupor. I'm hungry right now, I'm sorry. She was able to snap out of her stupor and continue to talk and regain her level of consciousness that she originally brought to McCamey Manor herself. Regain herself, all right? It's bright up there in the sun.
So you have to shine it like right in my face.
Of course I do. Don't you know how I shoot film?
Talk back to him.
That's right. Sarah?
And then when they finally talk to her, they ask her, why'd you only make it to 6 hours instead of the 8? And then she just says this.
So there's about 2 hours left, which you just couldn't do. So what happened? Why couldn't you go any further?
I don't remember. I don't remember what happened.
You passed out again. You started passing out.
She can't remember. That's cool. That seems good. All right, sounds great. So maybe she's still in fight or flight mode. Maybe she's in shock. Maybe something so bad happened that her memory's wiped. Maybe they hit her with the neuralizer from Men in Black. I have no idea, dude, but something happened. What exactly was it? Well, it was pushing her to her limit a lot until she passed out due to the torture. And then they filmed it and then are making money off of it.
But you got to snap out of it. You got to come back to me here. Sarah.
We'll make her snap out.
Sarah, you got to come back. Sarah.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Repeatedly pushing someone into syncope is not good. That's bad. I just don't know of anybody who would ever want to do this kind of shit, man. I mean, I get twisting your balls and getting stepped on occasionally. I don't get it myself personally, but I can put myself into someone's very large ball stepping shoes and I can get it. I can like, oh, I see how that might be. Baby want to be hurt or something. That's weird as shit, but I get it. But just being tortured and there's no reason, there's no payoff at the end. It's just you're stupid. I mean, what? I don't know. Like, and who's perpetrating this? That's weird. It's crazy. Another woman was shaking like she was freezing cold due to fear and I assume her blood pressure and body being all out of whack. There's also a clip that I cannot show of them pretending to stab her in the neck with a needle, and eventually they put it in her mouth and her gums start bleeding. Very disturbing. Not a big fan of that. Some people do say this is all just a big conspiracy and that these are just actors, but if you could do that, even as an actor, that is some method acting. Getting your ass whooped, getting drowned, you deserve a Oscar for looking like someone who's just being massively taken advantage of by a psychopath. An award for acting. I deserve an award for my acting performance. If we go back to old Christina B, they're literally mocking her, saying she likes to complain. So it seems kind of mean and unfair. That doesn't have any place on an acting set. It seems like both things are simultaneously true at the same time. That some of it is acting and some of it is not acting. A fellow by the name of Reckless Ben did a deep dive into McCamey Manor and shed a good bit of light on the situation. A good bit. A little more than I'm shedding here currently. I'm shitting. Reckless Ben did an entire documentary dissecting McCamey Manor, which eventually built up into him. Well, go watch it first. Go watch it. I'll have a link down below. But it built up into him eventually finding a hard drive of unedited footage. This unedited footage would expose some of Russ's big-time lies, his Todd Howardisms. They find out that they do movie magic, which is what I'm about to do. Magic missile! Pretty cool effect. Thank you. The editors deserve an award. Just kidding. They deserve to be fired.
We can finally put this mystery to an end. Turns out the answer is, it's just movie magic.
Start screaming right now. Start screaming. Scream.
And now with just a little bit of editing, we got a final product for YouTube. Yeah.
Some random woman comes down and agrees to film what they call a viral video with Russ.
Marissa told me that pretty much the only reason she came here was Russ said he needed to make a viral video with her.
But they also then show that it isn't all acting, okay? This whole video, this is just really weird. She asked them to wipe their face. She's done with it.
I need you to wipe off my face.
But Russ only cares about one thing, capturing a viral reaction for his video.
Stay there.
Please.
It's pretty clear that Marissa's over this. She wants to leave, but If Russ lets her go, then his video ends.
Then Russ says that they're gonna do some light, entertaining things, and they shave her head, which he's very obviously not okay with.
Getting my head shaved really sucked. Really, really sucked.
Then they start torturing her like she's a Guantanamo Bay prisoner, telling her that they need to give them the information. They need to give them what they want. Give me the information. What? We're filming a viral video.
So you think I beat Carol?
I have no idea.
Really? After what you know about me, you think I hit women?
This is a haunted house owner who was in the Navy, not a CIA agent, all right? Not a spook. Reckless Ben also learns about this other character named Rhett, not from Good Mythical Morning, but just a random guy who helps with Russ's videos, a scare actor.
So tell the folks who you are, and you can use your character's name and what you're doing.
I'm Rhett Silvers.
As you can see, Rhett is not this guy's real name. He's a fake character pretending to go through McKamey Manor. He told me that Russ told him to do this because Russ wanted to show his subscribers a tough, manly guy going through McKamey Manor, because that would go super viral.
This guy was a personality hired to show the difficulty and toughness of McKamey Manor, and he was all in on it, but he didn't realize that he would be driven and dragged behind a truck over gravel that would cut his skin open. So, you know, that's kind of a red flag there. And then instead of taking him to the hospital with his skin ripped open, they dip him in the ice cream tank. Then to avoid all responsibility and probably maybe creeping feelings of guilt, Russ gets him to laugh at the end, like an older brother beating the shit out of their younger brother. Come on, smile it up. Come on, I'm gonna get in trouble if you don't laugh, if we don't play this off like it's totally chill and cool. Come on, laugh.
Do you have any final words you want to tell the fans?
But Rhett was stuck until he gave Russ the footage he wanted. So eventually, he decided to play along.
Thought I was gonna teach y'all a lesson, but I learned a lesson tonight.
So there's two examples of people who thought they were just going to be acting and then were actually abused on top of that. So yeah, now it's even worse because not only is it a terrible abusive torture experience, but it's not as well. It's fake. A lot of it's fake. And it's just, some of it's acting, but there's little bits of abuse sprinkled in for dramatic effect. It's like neither one of those actual authentic things that are both bad, but come on, pick a lane, Russ, you freak. So we know there's some foul play going on here, some false claims about the abuse, about the acting. What about the manor itself? What is the manor itself? I sort of visualize it as a big haunted mansion, like some kind of thing out of the movies or something, like a big castle of some kind, like where Dracula lives, or I don't know, some badass house or some shit. I don't know, but it's actually not. It's actually all fake. It's all lame. It's lame. It's weird. It's whack, dude. The manor sucks too. Russ makes all these impressive claims, like being forced to crawl through a rat cage the size of 2 football fields, but it turns out that's just false.
It's a 200-yard underwater swim through an underwater haunted house.
Reckless Ben was just sprayed with a water hose, so that's not very cool.
So every time you open that gate, it releases water.
Looks like a bunch of lobster cages. It's not that badass, really. It's not 2 football fields. It's false marketing. It's false advertising. That's not real. You're a liar, Russ. You were lying. You're a dick. All the other stuff I get, you know, but this is just too far. It's false advertising. What the Also, for Reckless Ben's experience, they made him wear upside down glasses and put a shock collar on his leg and made him work out a lot.
So if you don't do what you need to do or anything, then you get zapped.
And then covered him in paint and glitter, which all that stuff sounds like the opposite of scary.
I've been doing these exercises for about an hour now, and I started to think to myself, wait, I thought this was supposed to be a haunted house. Did I show up to the right place? And then things took a little bit of a turn, and not like things got scarier, things just got weird.
Bring over the paint and glitter, would you please? Paint them up good.
Seems kind of lame, but legal, I guess. I mean, it makes sense. Less bad. And the whole time, Russ is just sitting in a lawn chair while he's doing these random. It's weird. It's like he just likes having power over people. I don't know. This whole thing is weird. Then they took him into Russ's barn and did this water saw trap on him, and that was probably the scariest part of the entire video.
He said, you know what, Ben? There's one more entrance to this haunted house, which was this.
A few videos later in Reckless Ben's series, we learn that McKamey Manor, this whole time probably, maybe at one point he did have a big castle on the hill, but now it is just in a room in a garage.
On one hand, you have people freaking out because of the scary saw, which in reality is just plastic. Or these scary snakes, which are also just plastic. Or this contraption, which is literally just a chair. The only other part of the haunted house is this water tank, these cages, and a bunch of Halloween props just taking up space in the backyard.
Which if you look at Russ McKamey sitting in the lawn chair, it makes sense. It tracks. It's like, okay, of course. It's just this guy's garage. Of course, he's just lying, he's weird. He's just a really weird guy who figured out some simple loophole to make people insane and allow him to have a lot of power over them for no reason. So in the end, this horror boot camp survival experience that people have been obsessing over for years, this manor, has been in a guy's garage, we think, maybe. Maybe it was in a manor at some point, but probably not. What's even worse, but also kind of funny, he couldn't do McKamey Manor, he couldn't torture Ben in his barn that he's got, because that would be a more scary location. He had to do it in the garage because he wouldn't put sprinkler systems into his garage to follow the city's fire code.
The city was like, you can't operate in the barn unless you get fire exits up, a sprinkler system, and he couldn't do any of that. So they said if there's any more tours ever here that we have proof of happening in this barn, he will be shut down.
He apparently cares about the fire code, all right? He'll abuse people, but also he's not going to break the fire code, because that would be way too far, dude. So he lost one of his locations, and that's probably why he had Ben rolling around in the dirt, putting paint on his face and stuff. So that sort of makes sense, I guess.
Now it makes sense why when I went to McKamey Manor, my entire experience was outside. There was actually a 0% chance of me making it into the haunted house because Russ's barn isn't up to fire code.
But then we find out that Russ's own cameraman told Ben that he was in the barn.
Ben was in the barn.
So Ben's tour actually took place in that barn.
Yes.
So I'm assuming because Ben was in there, Russ added those sprinkler systems and put those easements in, right?
Nope.
Ben was able to build a case to send to the proper authorities to say, look at this guy's violating all these codes. This guy's weird as This guy's weird as shit. He whooped up on me. For one, he whooped up on me, and then he made me roll around in the dirt, got paint on me, and also he broke the fire code. Let's put this to an end. Reckless Ben caused the end of McKamey Manor.
So we gathered all the legal paperwork of the codes McKamey Manor's violating.
No exit signs are in the barn.
We sent all of this paperwork to the proper authorities, and now it's just time to wait.
He even went as far as the AG's office in Tennessee to investigate Russ's manor and stop this whole thing.
Tennessee's Attorney General is investigating McKamey Manor. That's an extreme haunted house in Lawrence County.
The Tennessee Attorney General raising serious concerns about an infamous haunted house attraction in Middle Tennessee.
Scrimetti's letter draws out concerns about the manor and its practices. Now, Scrimetti goes on to say his office will be sending McKamey a formal request for documents and information to, quote, answer the numerous questions they have about the business practices of the manor and whether these practices violate consumer protection law.
That being said, Russ has filed a countersuit against the AG's office, the Attorney General's office. He's probably gonna lose, let's be real, because that's gonna open discovery and we're gonna see exactly what the is happening here, bud. So this is the end of McKamey Manor, but also the tip of the iceberg of the end of McKamey Manor with Reckless Ben's video, because there's a lot more to come. Remember the murders? Or the deaths? Sorry, I shouldn't say murders, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but the deaths. So what exactly does all this mean for McKamey Manor? Well, everything is falling apart for Russ McKamey, who owns McKamey Manor, if you can even call it that. It used to maybe be a manor, but his wife left him, all right? Because he cheated on her, according to Reckless Ben. He cheated on her, and then she took half his shit, all his scary shit, his ice cream tank, okay? She took his ice cream tank, and he's now. So then, he was bad off, had to sell his shit, moved to Tennessee, where now he's breaking fire codes with his barn, and instead of actually torturing people in a haunted manner, he's making them carry water barrels and spraying them with a hose, and then getting glitter. Not that scary, it's kind of fallen off pretty hardcore. And with all these videos coming out on McKamey Manor exposing it for the various different things that it has been exposed for, the business itself is no longer profitable, so my brother has taken to working at a local Walmart.
Just wanted to ask when you're done to get pizza with us. Smart. Anything else? Well, you did sign a contract that said you would get pizza with us.
Totally respectable. Having an actual real job, going from being a weird cult leader, haunted house genius, to working at Walmart is an interesting, adjacent career path, all right? I like that. That's pretty cool. Those two things are one and the same. One I have a little bit more respect for, to be honest. Walmart. Easy. So things are not looking good. Plus, the trademark for his business is gone.
And what's this? There's a new owner now. The owner's name is Ben Schneider, which is me. Yeah, I just legally stole your company name. So if this does go to court, a court would say that you guys are now the ones copying me.
Which means he lacks the funding or desire to maintain the operation. It just doesn't seem profitable. It's too much risk. Not sure how you could ever get business insurance if your business centers around torturing people and committing crimes and thinking you can get away with it because of a piece of paper and then lying to people and having that on camera and just doing a bunch of weird shit. I don't know. It seems like a fucking bad idea. I wouldn't invest. What makes matters even worse for Russ is that earlier this year he was charged with attempted murder, and that in combination with him on video saying that 3 people have died at McCamey Manor, not that great of a look. Those charges were dropped, though, to be very clear. According to the court records for the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office, Russ Allen McCamey was arrested on the 19th of July for assaulting his girlfriend at the time. He was then booked into jail on a $1,000 bond and ordered to have no contact with her. And following that, there were charges in which he had attempted to murder his girlfriend on multiple occasions. The affidavit claims that she lost consciousness during a domestic altercation the same day that he was originally arrested. Then the claim is that he raped her and strangled her so much she lost consciousness again, and after this, the bond was raised to $100,000. Once again, though, as of very recently, those charges have been totally dropped. He's completely free of them. We're probably never gonna know what exactly happened, but it's a bad look overall. This guy has got a lot of bad shit going on, and I feel like people should just probably stay away. Let him work his job at Walmart, all right? So with all this, him being investigated by the AG of Tennessee, countersuing them, and then also suing a Hulu documentary that came out on him, Mr. Russ is doing whatever he possibly can to maintain some level of relevance, all right? It's not looking good for him. It's really not looking good at all. Due to the lack of activity of his Facebook group, which is, I assume, where most people who enjoy McCamey Manor congregate, I think it's safe to say that it's dead in the water and it's not going to be resuscitated and there's no coming back. So anyways, guys, McCamey Manor, absolutely f***ing insane. If you guys enjoyed this video, press the like button down below. Join the Gump Club to watch uncensored videos. Probably not going to be anything crazy in this because I don't want to get in trouble and I'm not about that. Yeah, go to sour.gg and use code bodily fluids for $200. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.